Covenant is directed by Ridley Scott and stars Katherine Waterston and Michael Fassbender. This is the follow-up to Ridley Scott's 2012 film Prometheus, and there was a lot of debate over whether or not that movie is actually a prequel to Alien or not. Personally, I side on the fact that it is an Alien prequel, but only in the loosest sense. It was more of a prequel to the Alien universe than a prequel to the Alien 1979 movie. But now we have Alien Covenant, which is very obviously a prequel to Alien, because this one now has the title Alien. And the Alien franchise has always been a little rocky, always had its ups and downs. So how did this film turn out? I think that Ridley Scott has created a very effective monster movie, similar to the first Alien, but very much a 2017 version, and not as good because you can never beat the original Alien. But compared to Prometheus, I do think this is a step up in that regard. I think that it's tighter, it's leaner, and it's meaner, and the biggest thing of all, it's scarier than Prometheus is. However, this is still a sequel to Prometheus, which means there are still questions of creation and who is the person who created us, who are the beings that created other beings. These questions do come up more so in the first half than the second, but I will say I think this movie finds the right balance between the two, but I think that it smartly keeps kind of those creation ideas in the first half, because that's where we're having the build up and we can have the characters interact and maybe they can explore this a little bit more. And the second act's really when we want to see, aliens kill people. So I think that this movie is very satisfying in that regard. The story here is pretty simple. The crew are on a colonization mission, and they get hit by a electrical surge that causes them to power down for a bit, and they have to wake up to fix it and find a planet that might be habitable. And of course, bad stuff goes down. If you are here for the Alien prequel part of this film, there are some things that are answered. It's not nearly as open-ended and confusing as Prometheus was, because Prometheus is a prequel that opens up more questions than it answers. And this film has the unfortunate problem having to solve some of Prometheus's mysteries, and then it still has to kind of obligate the mysteries of the Alien franchise. And I think that Scott does a pretty good job of compounding this. And you get a little bit of the origin of the xenomorph, and you get a little bit of kind of how we know the engineers to be, and I think that's a nice touch. I know that there's going to be a sequel to this movie, apparently, but Scott's been planning forever, so maybe we'll finally get more reveals there. But I think that if you are going for that, you will be mostly satisfied. I do think that Scott really directed this film probably better than he did Prometheus, though I do think Prometheus was a well-directed film. I think this one's even better. I think that Scott really has a talent for creating this kind of film. It's kind of how we saw in The Martian, how The Martian was just straight to the point. It did what it needed to do, and it was just super effective. And I think this film is the exact same way. Obviously, this film is incredibly predictable. You know every single plot beat here. But Scott is able to make this incredibly tense and scary. And there are moments that are just absolutely crazy off the wall, and honest to God, I was on the edge of my seat. I do have to give props to the cast, because the cast here is fantastic. We have Katherine Waterston, who is probably a little underplaying this role, though she is very good at playing, scared. She has a perfect face for it, which, kind of like how Natalie Portman has the perfect cry face. She has the perfect face for looking scared, so she's kind of good for this role, even though I think that her character isn't super fleshed out, though Billy Crudup is fantastic as the captain, and Michael Fassbender steals this entire movie. He is fantastic as always. And I think this is actually one of his better performances. He is standout in this movie. I don't really have any major negatives of this film. I mean, the problems with it are the fact that it's just not much more than a monster movie. And yeah, it's a pretty good Alien movie. I think it's probably the third best Alien movie. But at the same time, it doesn't do much more than what it's planning to do. And I guess you could say, well, it succeeded at what it did, but it didn't have lofty ambitions, so it doesn't have lofty payoffs. But this is still a very effective and very fun, scary, and satisfying movie, and I'm going to give Alien Covenant a B. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, you can hit the like button down there. And of course, I want to know what you all thought of Alien Covenant. If you have any thoughts, just comment below. You can also subscribe to my channel for lots of great movie reviews. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.